Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another lunch show where I go through all of the latest regarding Chelsea Football Club. I will also be speaking briefly about England because we know England are playing later on against, is it Lavia or is it Albania? I can't even remember off the top of my head. But I know England are playing later today. And I was thinking about doing a watch along for that one, so I might do it. So I've got my England shirt on anyway. Today we're going to be talking about Thomas Tuchel, what he's been saying about Reece James, how to get the best out of Reece James. We're also going to be speaking about Giovanni Quenda and Dayo Sugo. The full press releases have come out for those players. A little bit of a dive on them as well. And some positive news to go through as well regarding some of the things that are going around the club that people might not know about, and they may not be as widely spread out in terms of what you see on Twitter as what you would think. Castilla says, notice the video of Reece speaking on Tuchel was taken off. Or was it? I didn't know that. I actually don't. I didn't realize that. So can we find the quotes for that, guys? Can we find the quotes for that? Because I do remember the quote. I think James was asked who his favourite manager was, and he said Thomas Tuchel. Is that correct? So, yeah. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. But that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. With the ownership, it's all about PR. We're all aware of this stuff, guys. We're all aware. And that's how it is. That's what Chelsea are at the moment. We are PRFC. We are hedge fund FC. We're accountancy FC. Get used to it. That's fine. But it doesn't mean you have to smile about it. And I'm certainly not smiling. The situation at Chelsea, for me, is one that is difficult to save. It's a difficult scenario to save because of our financial situation. We have to sell to buy. If we don't qualify for the Champions League, that puts us in a really, really difficult position. But listen, let's see what happens irrespective. Let's take a deep dive so we can all see what's happening. Some cool news as well. We had the FIFA Club World Cup trophy arriving at Stamford Bridge. Some of you may have ended up going there to see it. I know that my good friend Charlie and father also went down, and they had a look. They actually went down to visit. I think it was in the mega store, and Charlie should have uploaded a picture of it. Let's see if he's got a picture. Of course he has. There you go. So there's Charlie with the Club World Cup trophy. Big up to him. I would have loved to have gone. Actually, I was due to go, but just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't live in London, so it takes me a little bit longer. So I ended up just having a bit of a lie-in, to be honest with you. And I got work in the afternoon, so I would have been late. But there is another option as well, or so I've been told. If you haven't been able to go today to go and see the Club World Cup trophy, you can go tomorrow. The Saatchi Gallery expedition, which goes from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And if I'm not wrong, I feel like it's going on for more than just a day. I think that might be for the whole weekend, maybe even a couple of days with the Saatchi expedition. I don't understand why Stamford Bridge only get it for a day. I mean, I did think to myself, like, surely you can give it a little bit longer. But there you go. So, yeah, I'm looking now. Fucking hell. So it says Saatchi Gallery, 22nd of March until 25th of March. Is that right? Let me share my screen with you so we can figure this out. This is the Saatchi Gallery. Is there anything about here? What is this? Doesn't really have much on it, does it? Doesn't say anything. So there's going to be something on there, I'm sure, but I'm honestly unsure. To be fair, I'm hoping that it's going to be open on Sunday as well, because I work on Saturdays and I finish at 2:30, so I'm going to struggle to get there for 4 o'clock. So I'm going to be quite gutted if I've missed out. Really gutted, actually. Aush, big up to you, my friend. I think you've got a picture with Lewis there. Is that? Yeah, that's Lewis as your profile picture. Was that Newcastle away by any chance? It looks like it would have been Newcastle. Opinions on us signing Isak for 75 mil plus Chilwell and Disasi. So you're saying Chilwell and Disasi going the other way, and then Isak coming for 75 mil. I think that's a good deal. That's a good deal. That's a fair deal. And that is a deal that could benefit Newcastle from a defensive standpoint. Not sure if they really would want Chilwell, to be honest with you. He'd have to have a massive decrease in his wage. Disasi, I could see it happening. He's a player that would probably fit into that system, because it's high pressing, but you still have players who aren't necessarily the best at passing out from the back, but they're good enough. And Disasi's sort of on the cusp, isn't he? He's not great passing out, but he's good enough, isn't he? So yeah, I think this is a good deal. I think it's unlikely to happen. I think we've got more chance of signing Victor Gyökeres than we do of Isak. I think we have more chance of signing Liam Delap than we do of both those players. So I think if we're looking at what I would take, I think that Isak would be a great option. I'd probably say he's better than Gyökeres, actually, in terms of the fact that we know he's Premier League proven. Unlike Gyökeres, he's played for Coventry in the Championship, but it's not the same, is it? So yeah, for me, I think the club's number one priority is going to be Liam Delap. Number two priority is going to be Victor Gyökeres. And number three priority, we're looking at Benjamin Sesko as well, mate. So that might even overtake Isak as well. Newcastle are going to demand a hefty fee. And we've got to generate revenue as well for the club. So they're not just going to be looking to get rid of players to bring in players. They want revenue. They want money. Okay. And if they're not going to get money for these players, then they're not going to do it. So that's my thoughts on that. But thanks for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. And I hope you're well. Daniel says, would be great to win the second Club World Cup as a Chelsea fan. Yeah, 100%, man. It'd be brilliant. Is it going to happen? I think it's very unlikely, because this year it's the most competitive. Ooh. Come on, Alex, wake up. It's the most competitive Club World Cup that there's ever been, because you have multiple European clubs now, and they are all looking to make some money. That is the driver of this competition. We look at a lot of the new competitions that have been created, the Conference League, the Europa League, the new format of the Champions League, that they all have their benefits. But I think that the Club World Cup in itself is probably the most interesting one that we've had in a while, because the money is just crazy. If you compare it from what it used to generate as a competition to what it's generating now, I mean, it incentivizes everyone to perform in Europe and in their domestic leagues as well, to get into the Champions League in the first place. So I do think it's a great thing. The fact that this Club World Cup's happening, I think it's good for football. I know that people talk about playing too many games, but the Club World Cup used to happen every year. Now it's happening every 4. So I think that brings a little bit of that has build up. It's got some real hype behind it, and yeah, I'm all for it. I hope you and your family are well. Sending my love to you and all of them. You interviewed me at the Newcastle game. Oh, mate, there you go. So I was right. It was the Newcastle game. You got that picture. There you go. And which game was it? Was it the one we lost in the Carabao, or was it the league last season? Which one was it, mate? Let me know. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I feel like it was the league. But thank you for the kind message. I appreciate it. Very kind, mate. And hopefully I'll see you again at Newcastle if you're going to be up there. So, the Club World Cup is here. And we know that, yeah. And this is the comment, by the way, that we were just mentioning earlier that's been deleted by Chelsea, apparently. That's what you guys have just said to me. Oh, yes, he said the clip's been deleted. Reece James on Thomas Tuchel. The best coach from the ones I've worked with. There's various reasons why. He brought trophies to Chelsea when we probably least expected it in a difficult period. So that's what's been deleted. There's actually a thing from ITV there. Oh, yeah, the clip has been deleted. There you go. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Let me see if anything comes up on... that's really strange, isn't it? It's not strange. We know why they've deleted it. Nothing's coming up. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll tell you what. I love Reece James. And I don't know what the club expect him to say. What's he going to say? Is he going to say Graham Potter was the best manager, or Frank Lampard, or Poch, or Maresca? What, you're going to compare them to Thomas Tuchel, arguably the second best manager Chelsea have had in a short period in our history? If you look at what he's actually won in such a short space and how he turned everything around, the significance of the trophies, Champions League, Club World Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Carabao Cup final, FA Cup final, twice, if I'm not wrong. Jesus, that manager, like how you can compare anyone to Thomas Tuchel in recent history is just pathetic. Hopefully no Chelsea players get injured over the international break. I hope so, mate. We lost 3-1, and I mentioned when you got there, you're always playing against 13 players as the fans are amazing. I live in Newcastle, brother. There you go, mate. So I'm sure I'll see you. I'm sure I'll see you when we go up to Geordieland. When are we playing Newcastle again? Our game against Newcastle, one of the last games of the season. I know that I think it's the second or third last game that we have. We will be playing Newcastle on the 10th of May, but that fixture is still to be confirmed as far as they've put the scheduling. I think that's to do with what happens in Europe as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that one, guys. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you, mate. Honestly, it's going to be good fun. You've been a Chelsea member for 13 years and still struggle to get tickets. I know it's pathetic, isn't it? 10th of May. That's what they've got it down at the moment. But I think that could be subject to change. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, Newcastle's, as much as it's a great away day, I don't think anyone thinks we're going to win that. It depends how far they are away from wherever it is they want to be, whether that's the Europa or Champions League or just European football as a whole, which they've already qualified for, actually, because they've won the Carabao Cup. So I think they've qualified for is it the Conference League automatically? If I'm not wrong. There you go. So let's see what else. So yeah, Reece James obviously isn't going to say Maresca's the best manager he's ever worked under. The official press releases have come out from Giovanni Quenda and Dario Sugo for those transfers to Chelsea. And that is confirming the amount in euros, 50 million, 52 million euros, 50 million euros, blah, blah, blah. So that's all the contract details as well, presumably. Obviously, I don't speak Portuguese. And obviously, Cole Palmer is not part of the England squad for obvious reasons. He's injured. He's out. Cole will not be with us. We waited quite a while now for feedback. He is not on the pitch, so it makes no sense to call him up now. No surprises on that front. Also, rest in peace to Eddie Jordan, who's a big Chelsea fan. He was a Formula One team owner and a big Chelsea supporter. To be honest, I can't remember what team he owned, but his face certainly rings a bell. Who did he own? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Does anyone know who Eddie Jordan, what team he ran in F1? So, also, I think it's important that we have a look at England as well. I mean, it's worth touching on England. We know Reece James is going to be a part of the England squad. Thomas Tuchel came out saying that Reece James, he sees him still as a defender. John Terry said the same thing. That is where you get the best out of a player like Reece James. We know he lacks the pace that he once had a couple of years ago. We know that you have to take care of him as a player. What I can say is that even though I don't really like the way Maresca uses Reece James. I understand that you've got to take care of the player. This whole thing about players getting injured because of managers, I also think is a bit of a strange argument. We had that last season. Players have to take care of themselves. And some players are just cursed. Let's be honest. You got Jack Wilshere's, you got Reece James as one of those players as well. Like, there are just players out there who are constantly injured. And no matter what you do, no matter how you try and take care of them, what system you play, they are going to be injured. And that's how it is. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't go and blame it on the manager. Like, I'm not going to blame Maresca if a player gets injured. I'm not going to blame him. I blame the player. But that doesn't mean that I hate the player. But Reece James clearly has some problems, just like Fofana does, just like Lavia does. And I hope that, things can get better for him. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to actually what Thomas Tuchel had to say in his recent England interviews. He's had quite a few, actually. So let's see what he said. I'm sure many of you have already watched this, but let's react to it together.
Essential to the culture you want is Jordan Henderson.
He embodies everything. He's a serial winner.
Should this squad have won a major tournament?
Yes, because they were there.
It's 60 years next year since England last won a trophy. Why will it be different?
It was 70 years for Newcastle, and it was different. And it was also different because they were in the second final. I strongly believe in this.
This week, meeting the players on the training field as England coach, what's the overriding emotion?
No fear at all. Very excited, very proud.
Is there simply only one target to win the World Cup?
It is the big target, and then we focus on the process, and the process is Camp 1 now. But yeah, that's the big target. And I think it helps if we have this target. But on the way, we want to excite the country, we want to excite our fans, we want to improve and show that we are a special team.
What best defines your personality as a coach? Passionate, intense, emotional?
Intensity.
Because?
If I have to choose one. It's the feedback I get. So I would choose this one.
Can you be too intense?
Yeah.
Will you be demanding with this group?
Yes, I will be very demanding, because once I see the level of talent, the level of demands rise straight away.
Will you need maybe not to be too intense?
Yes, of course. I think I have a good sense for myself. I think that I'm very reflective about myself, and I feel when I'm too intense, so I will take a step back. I have no problem to also tell a player or tell someone in my staff or in my surroundings, sorry, that was too much. I overstepped. I was too emotional. I was too straightforward, too intense, and take a step back. There's no problem.
You said, we will try to instill values and principles and rules as quickly as possible.
Yes.
What's the first rule?
What's the first rule? Be the best teammate that you can be.
How essential to the culture you want is Jordan Henderson?
He embodies everything. He's a serial winner. His personality, character. He is the glue in every team where he played, and he will be the glue that makes things special.
That sounds like a really interesting decision. It's a decision to bring Jordan back that surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when you talk about it, it sounds the most natural thing in the world.
Good. So I'm convinced, and when the teacher is convinced, normally in school, the class gets better. If the teacher is convinced about the quality of the class, the character of the class, it's better than the other way around.
When did you make your decision on Jordan?
But I'm happy that I convinced you about the decision. When I made the decision, when I talked to players, I talked to staff, I talked to people in the federation, his name came up permanently. So it was not my idea initially from day one. But it made so much sense to then call him up, because his name was in the discussions all the time, and called him up. And I have to say, after this phone call, 15, 20 minutes, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, I was pretty convinced that I need this guy in camp.
Yes or no, should playing for England come before anything for a player?
We cannot force it, but I think we can try to install kind of this pride and feeling that it comes first. I felt it with all my players from Brazil, from Argentina, that you have the feeling that it comes first for them, and it gives them a certain edge in tournaments that we will face and that we need to overcome. And I think we can inject it into the group.
In November, when you saw 8 players dropping out of the squad, and Harry Kane's comments that the desire to play for England might be fading, what did you think?
He had a point, but I think Lee Carsley dealt excellent with it. They won their matches and they overcome. So that's basically it. I think it's important that we create a spirit that everyone wants to be there, because he knows also, if I miss out, maybe it will be much, much harder to come back.
Watching England's run to the final of the Euros last summer, what struck you?
That they overcome difficulties, that they make it happen, that they go all the way to the final, even if you constantly have the feeling they don't reach their limit.
Yes or no, did England have a clear playing style last summer?
Not last summer, no.
What was missing?
The identity, the clarity, the rhythm, the repetition of patterns, the freedom of player, the expression of player, the hunger. They were more afraid to drop out of the tournament, in my observation, than having the excitement and hunger to win it.
Was that physical or mental?
More mental than physically. The expectation is huge because of the talent pool, because England can be proud of the best league in the world. So the players compete on the very highest level. Fans see it every 3 days. So yeah, the hunger is so big, but still the hunger and the excitement from all of us, from the fans, to go and maybe win it should be much higher than the fear of losing out.
But it's 60 years next year since England last won a trophy. Why will it be different?
It was 70 years for Newcastle, and it was different. So, and it was also different because they were in the second final. I strongly believe in this. It felt very different how they approached their second final in a short period of time, and it will help us. Of course, it was painful, but we are there. The federation is there. We are in quarterfinals. We are in big semifinals. We are in consecutive finals. We are there. We will be ready.
There you go, guys. So that was Tuchel's interview. And I think he handled that interview very, very well. 2 things that he said. The first thing, they said, it's been 60 years since since England last won a trophy. You know, why is it going to be different this time? And he said, well, for Newcastle, it was 70 years. So why should it be any different? You know, we can still do it. And he said also it's important that we understand if we get to the final again, it's different to getting to the final the first time. So he can see that we've been on the cusp multiple times, but we haven't been able to cross the line. And he clearly thinks that he can. He says England's going to be the team to beat. Remember when he first came to Chelsea, he said, we're going to become a team that nobody wants to play against. And he's basically saying something very similar for England. The other thing that I loved that he said is, you got to have the hunger to play for the shirt. He's not going to force players to play for them. He's going to bring back that pride. And Jesus, we need some pride. We need some pride, because that is a top manager right there. And then you look on the other side and you look at Enzo Maresca, and you see the difference in standards. And this is one of the reasons, again, I'm not a fan of Maresca, because I see things like this.
No, I said many times. And I really like the pressure. I really like to say, yes, we are there, but we are not there. We are not there. I said Arsenal is ahead of us. City is ahead of us. Liverpool is showing that it's ahead of us. So, but the important thing is that we improve game after game, and then we see. No.
Even when we're competing at the top of the table, the guy still doesn't want to have any belief that we can do anything. That is what we are missing. Belief. It all stems from above. Above. Any belief is stripped away. John Terry talking about titles. Take that off. Reece James talking about the success he had under Thomas Tuchel. Just get away from me. You see what I'm saying here, guys? It's frustrating. It's beautiful, because I'm obviously English. I love Tuchel. I mean, if I could have picked a second club or country for him to go for, it would have always been England. So I'm lucky. Those of you who aren't English, maybe not so lucky, especially if you're an American fan. See how they did last night against, was it Panama? I know Lewis certainly enjoyed that one. There you go. So they got knocked out. Was it what, CONCACAF or something like that? I mean, I didn't watch the game. I haven't got a clue. I don't even know how many games Pochettino's managed for the United States team. But that's quite funny, isn't it? There you go. Yeah, speak to Lewis. I'm sure he can help you out. Going to be interesting to see him at wing back again. We'll talk about Reece James here. Excited to witness it. Absolutely, mate. And show Maresca that overlapping fullbacks are not old-fashioned. It is the new wave. That should not have gone. The idea that an overlapping fullback is yesterday's news, which is basically how Maresca likes to describe it, is very strange to me, because we have had most of our success in recent years overlapping fullbacks, having wingbacks. We won our last Premier League with Marcus Alonso and Victor Moses doing exactly that. We won our Champions League with Ben Chilwell and Reece James doing exactly that. All of our trophies and success within the past, were recent, however long, have been with fullbacks that go up the pitch and do not invert. Inverting there's no proof that inverting is going to win you titles at Chelsea. This is not Man City. This is not Barcelona. Certainly not Leicester. So I don't agree with that tactic based on how it's been utilised since Maresca's come in. I think that there are players, obviously, who are very good at adapting, and they deserve credit for that and fair play to them. But I just, there's more to life than everyone inverting. There's more to life than that. So there you go. Now, also, I want to give a massive shout out to an event that's going to be happening very soon. I got a message from the Chelsea Supporters Trust, not directly, but one of the people from the Chelsea Supporters Trust, saying we are doing the Stamford Bridge sleepout, and it's going to be next Saturday night to raise money for Stoll, who provides support and housing to the homeless veterans, but also Barron's Court Homeless Project in Hammersmith and Fulham. The club is supportive once more, and the players at Cobham last week promoted the event after training. And the aim is to raise around 25k. Although when you go on the website, it says up to 30,000 is the goal. So let's just have a quick look, just so you know what I'm talking about. This is the Stamford Bridge sleepout. You can see that the club are obviously promoting it. Go and check it out, guys. You can sign up to it. You can donate. You're helping the Stoll site, which helps housing and which does housing and helping for veterans. And then you got the Barons Court project as well, which helps the homeless. On top of that, now you probably can't scan the QR code from what I've just shown you now, but if you want to go on the website, you can do it, and you can sign up on www.chelseasupporterstrust.com/sleepout. Okay, and if you don't want to support this financially, if you are able to, you can obviously you can actually sleep out instead, and that's how you can raise the money. I remember a couple of years ago, Graham Potter went viral for this, obviously for supporting the cause. I'll see if I can bring it up for you guys. So he actually did this for Brighton. Did he do it for Chelsea? I thought he did the same thing for Chelsea. I can't see it for Chelsea. I thought he did it for Chelsea. He did it for Brighton. So they had a similar initiative there. So yeah, you need to check that out, guys. You can donate as little as you can, but obviously if you've got some spare cash, it's a great cause. It's a great cause, and I obviously support it as well. Yeah, so big up to the Chelsea Supporters Trust for trying to push that out, and yeah, big up to anyone that's supporting the initiative as a whole. Now you can raise money for the Baron Court project by donating online. Hashtag just giving. The link is here. I'm going to get that on screen right now. So far, they have raised 38% of what they are looking to raise in total. They've raised £11,577. 448 people have supported this cause. We've had some very, very good efforts from certain individuals. Mark Meehan, who I know, he's part of the Chelsea Supporters Trust. He's managed to get £1,520 together from 46 supporters. Big up to Cliff as well. Cliff Auger, 1,689. Gary Chivers, Phil Spector, Michael Angus. Great effort, guys. Absolutely fantastic. So obviously you don't have to raise that much, but anything will help. And again, to give you guys some context, this is organised by the Barons Court Project. The Chelsea Supporters Trust will be supporting Stoll and Barons Court and the Barons Court Project with the big sleepout at Stamford Bridge on Saturday, the 22nd of March. We will raise funds to enable vital work to end homelessness and support vulnerable veterans. The big Stamford Bridge sleepout is on the 20th. Sorry, that's not on the 22nd of March. It's 22nd of March today. Is it on the 22nd of March? No. Oh, shit. When I was told, I thought it was later on. Is that right? When did I get the message? I thought it was next Saturday. No, that can't be right. Ah, okay. Right, they're doing two of them. So I see. Okay, so there's this one tomorrow is for the Barons Court Project, and then you'll have Stoll after that. Okay, I see. Sorry, guys. I got that wrong. So the Chelsea Supporters Trust will be supporting Stoll and Barons Court Project by holding the big sleepout at Stamford Bridge. All money raised will be evenly shared between these two great charities. The event will be held on Saturday, the 22nd of March, and will raise funds to enable vital work to end homelessness and support vulnerable and disabled veterans to lead fulfilling independent lives. The Chelsea supporters raised over £24,000 in 2024, and we were hoping to better that in 2025. A chance to sleep out under the East Stand at Stamford Bridge for a whole night is a truly unique experience and a must for all Chelsea supporters, but spaces are strictly limited, so register today via the CST website to make sure you don't miss out. There you go. So that's a little bit more context for those of you who don't understand the reasoning behind this event, but I think it's a great thing to do, guys. So I suggest you go on there. Again, can I put the link on screen? I don't know. I'll put it in the chat and you can probably copy and paste it. So if you want to visit, I've just put the link on screen, copy and paste that, and then that should take you to the link I've just given you now. Okay. Again, big up to that. Brian says he thinks Tuchel could win a title with this Chelsea team. I probably agree with that, to be honest with you. How long do we think his hamstrings will last at wingback? We'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Great words from Thomas Tuchel. Shows how much he loved England and wanted to stay with Chelsea. Reece James saying it was great working with a manager like Thomas Tuchel. 100%. And how could you not want to be with a manager so ambitious, so experienced, so tactically on top of everything? He just understands the game, and mentally as well. He's got that clarity of what he wants to achieve. He wants to win, not finish in the top four. He wants to win. Maresca is raw and new to coaching. He's still learning along with the players. An inexperienced manager and inexperienced players. He obviously will try a lot and fail because he has 3 to 5 years. I don't think you've said anything wrong there. Anyone from the Chelsea Supporters Trust address the Vivid Seats issue? No, nobody has addressed the Vivid Seats issue. The one thing that has been addressed, though, is ticket touting. Now, I saw this the other day. See if I can find it. I think it was Nizar Cancelo who did an article on it, talking about how Chelsea are trying to clamp down on touting, and let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Yes. So Chelsea, there you go. Let's have a look at this. I'll show you here, guys. It's on the BBC as well, so we can actually go through it together. So there has been, like, it correlates obviously a little bit, but it's not Vivid Seats per se. So Chelsea explain efforts to tackle touting, including taking on one with 340 memberships on one ticket, amid criticism over Bowley's links to Vivid Seats and efforts to improve the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. Now, if we zone in on this article, we had a tout with 340 memberships, which is obviously extortionate. Chelsea have sent an email outlining their battle against ticket touts, including action against one who had 340 memberships. The club has sent an email to assure supporters that they take touting seriously and to re-emphasise the robust action we are taking every day as a club to tackle this and stop those participating in this illegal activity. The scale of the problem has also been communicated to supporters, with one tout said to be using 340 membership accounts linked to the same ticket for January's match against West Ham. More than 1,000 people are said to have been stopped entering the stadium. 1,500 membership accounts cancelled, and four arrests were made last season, the highest of any Premier League club, according to the email. The email seen by BBC Sport also explains the club have an investigative team who track ticket purchasing and membership accounts, including a team of uniformed and plainclothes staff to investigate ticket misuse, identity, and apprehend touts. In-person seat checks at home matches, set up a hotline where we use information to investigate potential touts, and support the police in obtaining football banning orders for convicted touts. The issue of touting is also having a major impact on the increasing tepid atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, which has been highlighted by both the previous manager Mauricio Pochettino and the current boss, Enzo Maresca. A small singing section of 120 ticket holders in the shed end has also been trialled at the recent home game against FC Copenhagen in the Conference League. It will be extended to 150 season ticket holders when Legia Warsaw visit in the quarterfinal next month. So yeah, there's that side, and I just want to say as well regarding the 120 seats, the singing section. That's basically what it is. It is a fantastic thing, guys. It's brilliant, and I'm really glad that that we've done it, and I think it's a good initiative, to be honest with you, from the club. I think it genuinely is a really good thing. So hopefully it's something that can continue. Although I will say this, which is that, you know, people are trying to compare it to Arsenal and what they have with their singing section. And I don't think we should have anything of the sort. I think it should be totally unique in the sense that, look, just have fans that want to sing. They don't need to dress up. They don't need to wear all black. We're not looking for anything crazy here. And what I'll just show you as well, guys, is after the Copenhagen game, a fan walked past me and we asked him about the ticket touting. Sorry, not about touting, but the atmosphere within that singing section. And he had some very interesting thoughts on it. So let's just have a quick look, and I'll share this video with you. Listen carefully.
Singing section. Yeah, go on. I don't know
where it might have appeared to elsewhere in the grounds, but inside it, it's fucking quality.
Really? Mate, I was opposite in MHL. I'll be honest, I couldn't hear much, but I could see it.
All I can say, being in it, awesome. Best time I've had at the bridge in like years.
Is that something that...
And it was only 150.
I thought it was 120. It was even more.
It's 100. Well, you say that, that's like...
That's a good amount.
It's not a lot.
Well,
hardly anything. And yet it was still really good. So
it goes to show you don't need many fans to make much noise.
100% recommend it, man. Like, it was great. Best time I've had in the bridge years.
Are they going to continue?
So apparently today was a trial.
Right.
If it went well, apparently the club were like involved, and apparently the club was happy with how it went, so they're going to look to expand it.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thanks so much, mate. Thanks so much. Pleasure.
That's a good feedback.
Have a good one.
That's a good feedback when I'm here as well. And this is what we've been dealing with so far in terms of the games, let's say, in the European, not only European games though, but also the home games in the Premier League. And that's why I feel like I think we need some sort of these trial tests to get more atmosphere going. Apparently, I know it's only European games, but fucking, you got some fan base just singing, what do you think of Tottenham Town? But it's just...
Okay, fine. No, let's not get onto the waffle here. But basically, you can see that it went well. It went well. So that's good. But yes, with regards to the touting situation of Vivid Seats, obviously the club haven't addressed it, and Bowley is ignoring everything. So yes, there's not really. I mean, you can obviously I'm not happy about it. We've addressed it, and we can continue to address it. But the owner needs to do something about it. The club need to do something about it, and based on the fact that he hasn't reacted quickly. He hasn't reacted at all to Bowley. That tells me that nothing's going to change. But this is where the Chelsea Supporters Trust need to address this issue. They directly communicate with the club. So I think that's poor from Bowley in that respect. But we'll see what happens. Byron wants to see Reece James play as a centre-back to save his legs. That's fair. We've seen him do it before in a back three. Reece James needs to play right back, and in the transfer window, we need another left back or two left backs to cover for Cucurella cover. That's fair. T. Crom says our chairman is the tout. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, mate. Chester Fan TV. I don't know what that means. Playing Reece James in midfield is not going to solve the problem and the project. I don't know what Maresca is thinking. If it didn't work out, when he was playing against Declan Rice. Is anyone going to arrest Bowley? Maybe he's sent a message to the police, mate. I don't know. You'll have to start an investigation. Who knows? So yeah, that's where we are on that front. So yeah, we've gone through the situation with the touting. I mean, this all came about because of Bowley's links with Vivid Seats. But I don't think anything's actually changed on the Vivid Seats front. Now, also, another thing that's come out as well, which is, I guess, good to see that journalists are being honest and sharing more information, is that at the moment, when we look at Chelsea, we know that we've been stockpiling young players, but nobody's been addressing this in mainstream media. Another article that's come out again, and I also want to say Simon Phillips come out and address this as well. A number of journalists are talking about it now. Why are Chelsea stockpiling so many young players? Okay, and it talks about whether we should be surprised about the fact that Chelsea spent £62 million combined for two players from Sporting Lisbon, one of which who is 17 years old, Giovanni Quenda, who is a winger. He played as a wing back under Ruben Amorim, but he's going to be a winger at Chelsea if he ever plays for Chelsea. And then you've got Dario Sugu, who's going to move in the summer to be a rotation option for Moises Caicedo. A recent UEFA report declared Chelsea's 2024 squad was comfortably the most expensive ever assembled, 24% higher than the previous record by Real Madrid in 2020. The report says that Chelsea spent almost €2 billion, 1.7 billion pounds in transfer fees in the 5-year period to 2024, and yet they keep spending. Several other teenagers are lined up to join Chelsea in the next few transfer windows. The fees worth more than 150 million in total. We're looking at Kendry Pyers, who's already training at Chelsea. He's going to complete a 17 million pound move in the summer. You've got Estevan Willian, who's just turned 18. He's going to join after the Club World Cup for 29 million pounds, potentially rising to 51 million with add-ons, according to Brazilian sources. You got Mike Penders, 19-year-old goalkeeper. We've got another bloody goalkeeper. He's joining from Genk for 17 million in the summer. And you got Mamadou Sarr, the 19-year-old, after we've agreed to, it's just ridiculous. After 11.9 million pound deal was agreed with partner club Strasbourg. So obviously they are exciting players. Like, nobody can deny that they're good young players. But again, the question is, how can they afford it? And what is the strategy? We already knew this, right? Fans have already addressed this. It is not about success. It is about money and profits. It is not to bring Chelsea to the grand stage of European football and win everything and cover the team in glory. No, increase the value of this football club and buy and sell assets for a profit. As simple as that. Todd Bowley said it himself. When we look at the youth system at Chelsea, we do not look at them as players or humans. We look at them as assets. So what is Chelsea's strategy? Buy young stars on lower wages, spread the payments over long contracts, keep flipping players, and sell on all unwanted talent for a profit. This is Chelsea's strategy in a nutshell. Oh, and try to win things at the same time. I'm going to put a question mark on the end of that because he's put a full stop. So win things? Question mark. After the Conference League, will we ever win anything? That's the question I ask you, the way we're going. Do you think that we have the capabilities as a team, based on the way we're assembling this squad, to win a Carabao Cup? Do we have enough to win an FA Cup? Could we win the Europa League if we were only to finish there? Could we win the Champions League? Do you think we have the consistency to push forward in domestic competitions and win the Premier League? That's what I ask you. With an average squad of 23 years old and 5 months, the Blues have already got the youngest squad in the Premier League, and it's set to get even younger from next season. The club has had a radical shift in transfer strategy since Todd Bowley and Clear Lake Capital took over from Roman Abramovich in 2022. Most Abramovich ever players have been sold in an attempt to reduce the age of the squad and the wage bill. That money has been reinvested in young talent in what appears to be a supercharged Brighton approach to transfer business. Young players are being signed on long contracts, usually between 7 and 9 years, for reasons which Todd Bowley explained at last month's FT Financial Times Business of Football events. It's the way this market operates, the American billionaire said. I don't see it as good or bad. You always focus on how you can keep something together for a very long time. How, you ask? You identify a younger portfolio of players to be consistent and reliable over a long period of time. And that's an option that's valuable. A 7-year contract is really a 5-year contract, as 90% of the time you have to make a decision or shoot yourself in the foot with a player trying to run down their contract. You either agree terms or you shoot yourself in the foot, or agree there are greener pastures out there. A recent CIES Football Observatory Observatory report revealed Chelsea are the best performing team in world football when measuring how many minutes. Almost 92% are being played by players under contracts beyond 2026. So, in other words, the clubs where squad planning is most likely to bring in stability in the coming years or to generate substantial capital gains from transfers. Chelsea are clearly getting better on a host of highly rated youngsters from across the globe in the hope that they will unearth some more stars like Cole Palmer or Nicholas Jackson. They also want to beat clubs like Benfica to rising stars in markets like South America, to avoid paying a Portuguese premium like they did when they signed Enzo Fernandez for 107 million in 2023. We knew there was going to be a big transition. Chelsea co-sporting director Paul Winstanley said in 2023, no chance to sit back and relax, that's for sure. Did we think we would oversee a Premier League record of transactions? Probably not. That constant desire to trade players has slowed down a little after a series of record-breaking transfer windows in terms of both volume and spending. Now, when we look at the best future-proof squads in the world football, we're not talking about the best squads, the best future-proof, which is talking about the percentage of domestic minutes played by players contracted but beyond 2026. So players who, for example, if you have a player like whoever it is, their contract expires next year, they're not playing. Basically, we know that, and that's the thing. We're only going to have players who are going to be here for a long time, so that we have the power as a club. You've got Chelsea, you've got Monaco, both on over 90%. AZ Alkmaar on 89, Real Sociedad on 88, PSG 87, United 86, Zenit 86, Coventry, Arsenal, Lecce. Those are the best in the world based on what we're seeing. That's in world football, people. Top of the list are Chelsea. There you go. There you have it. Now, what are the risks? This is what he says next. The accounting model makes sense as the long contracts and amortization, spreading the cost of a transfer over an extended period, have enabled Chelsea to get players like Caicedo on comparatively lower £180,000 a week wages, despite him costing a British transfer record of 115 million when joining from Brighton in 2023. Ukraine winger Mikhailo Mudryk, who joined Chelsea for up to 89 million, inclusive of add-ons from Shakhtar Donetsk in 2023, is on just £97,000 a week on a contract running until 2031. He is an example of how players can spread lower baseline earnings across a longer deal. But there can be issues with those lengthier contracts. Mudryk is currently suspended after testing positive for a banned substance. If found guilty, he could face up to a 4-year ban while still having years on his Chelsea deal. And then what if a player wants out? On the Overlap podcast, Jamie Carragher asked whether any club could afford to buy Chelsea star man Palmer. Last year, he renewed his contract until 2033, but Carragher says he can see the 22-year-old's frustration with some underperforming teammates. It reminded me of Steven Gerrard at Liverpool at times because he was so much better than everyone else and he got frustrated. Steven was a local player, but he was never going to leave, whereas Cole Palmer isn't. This is when I go back to those 8-year contracts and whether they are good for the club and the players. If your Palmer has got 6 or 7 years left on his deal and he should be playing for a team looking to win the Champions League, how does he get out? This is uncharted territory, and although it looks like it makes sense on the balance sheet, Is the human aspect being overlooked? And I say absolutely. There is no form of consideration for the human aspect when it comes to this football club. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your connection to the club. Did you not figure that out when we sold Mason Mount? Did you not understand that when we brutally forced Conor Gallagher to leave this team, that they don't care about what the player wants or what the player thinks? If it is right financially, if it looks good on the books, it will happen. So there you go. That's what I have to say with regards to that. This is there's also young players like Casadei, Vega, Chukwuemeka all left Chelsea in January amid frustrations about lack of minutes. With a lot of stars also looking for the same roles. And Nkunku was made available to other clubs in January, as other players such as Dewsbury Hall, who only joined last summer, face uncertainty before the transfer window. That's what happens when you stockpile on many, many players. Then the question is, do Chelsea need to sell? And the sources continue to insist they have no issues with the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, PSR, and they have yet to fall foul of them under this ownership. However, it took what is described as a fire sale of talent and the sale of 2 hotels to a sister company to continue adhering to the financial controls. Now, also, you have to remember as well, guys, this is painted purely as a PSR move when we talk about the fact that we sold ourselves these hotels. I think that... what? Don't know. Big up, Alex, in the chat. Please tell Alex you are not doing a Rory Jennings of trying to sell Cole Palmer. What? I don't understand what that means. Obviously, I don't want Cole Palmer to go. I don't know what you mean. But big up to you anyway. But the reason we sold these hotels was not just for PSR reasons, it's because we are stripping the assets away from Chelsea, because these hotels are still generating revenue. They are creating an income. Now, where is that money going? I don't believe it's going to Chelsea anymore. I think that what we're going to see is in future, that money is going towards Blue Coast. It's going towards Clear Lake. It's going towards Bowley. And that is money that is being brought in as a means to create another form of revenue. But it is not money that's going to go towards the club. So we're stripping the club of our assets. We don't have our own training ground. We don't have our own hotels. We don't own anything anymore. And that PSR was the excuse. But I don't believe that was the sole purpose. But anyway, we're going to move on. Chelsea have been involved in a couple of so-called PSR swap deals with the academy talent Ian Martson moving to Aston Villa as Amari Kellerman joined the Blues, who's got injured again, by the way, hasn't played a single game for us. That was terrible business. Qualifying for the Champions League would also help boost the club's finances as a major factor, but behind playing without a front of shirt sponsor is that the Blues are waiting to qualify for Europe's premier competition to negotiate a better rate. Another positive on the horizon for Chelsea's finances is their involvement in this summer's expanded Club World Cup in the United States, where they're expected to receive more than £50 million to take part. It is unlikely, therefore, that any marquee players will be sold, but academy defender Trevor Chalobah is still expected to leave to create more PSR headroom in the summer. Kieran O'Connor, who writes the Swiss Ramble football finance blog, told BBC Sport that the only thing we know for sure with Chelsea's PSR situation is that they were compliant for the 3 years monitoring period up to 23-24, as the Premier League have confirmed that no clubs were in breach. And Chelsea have not yet published their accounts for last season, but I reckon that the only way they could have kept below the maximum £105 million loss was by applying some fancy financial footwork. The expectation is that they would have made a huge operating loss as they did not qualify for Europe, while they have still struggled to replace shirt and sleeve sponsors. This will partially be offset by hefty player sales, but they will still need to find money elsewhere, such as the sale of the women's football team. The 24-25 assessment will benefit from dropping the large 21-22 loss, but compliance would still be dependent on the significant intercompany transactions The big question is whether UEFA will also accept these exceptional credits, as their regulations are tighter than the Premier League's. Where there is a real need to sell players is simply to get the squad numbers down, as Chelsea look to move away from using loans for unwanted talent like Ben Chilwell to Crystal Palace and Sterling to Arsenal, and instead try to develop young players at a lower league and European clubs, and also a lower cost as well, because we're paying part of Chilwell and Sterling's wages. Chelsea believe within 2 loan spells they should be able to tell whether a young player is capable of making it at Stamford Bridge, and would look to sell a player quickly if they do not believe they can make the grade. Is Chelsea's project at Everest Base Camp? Don't know what the hell that means, but during a vocal minority protest against the ownership, which actually I just want to say was a very successful protest, the one common complaint was whether Chelsea could win trophies with a similar strategy to Brighton. If Chelsea do not pay top-level wages, will the best players join the club? And doesn't experience count for something? Chelsea's owners and those close to them have always highlighted their desire to win and ambitions to match expectations in the longer term. However, they want to do so with this current approach, and have urged patience to wait for their players in this project to reach a mature stage. One source suggested to BBC Sport that this project is at Everest Base Camp, the starting point to climb the world's largest mountain. Okay, that makes sense now. Those ambitions for major honours extend beyond just the Conference League, where Chelsea's squad was worth as much as the other 31 teams combined. Sources close to senior players at Chelsea say that they want stability, having had 3 permanent managers and 5, including interim bosses, across 2 seasons. After the 1-0 defeat by Arsenal at the Emirates, Caicedo said they're working 7 years together and us just 2 years. Maresca has also echoed those calls when explaining why Chelsea cannot be title contenders. Jesus, this is a long article, guys. There you go. So that is basically the long and short of it that I wanted to get through. It's a good article, I have to say. Check it out. It's on the BBC, and it does break down, a lot of information that maybe you wouldn't have known otherwise. Listen, guys, smash the like button if you haven't already. We've got about 50 of you in here. Let's get up to 50 likes on the video. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can become a member. There are different membership options that you can look at. Rory Jennings was saying the same thing on Cole Palmer at TalkSport as to why Palmer should leave Chelsea. I was not saying you're saying the same thing. Sorry, it came on wrong. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, fair enough, mate. Of course, I don't want Palmer to leave. Absolutely not. No, I don't want him to leave. And he hasn't proven himself, to be worth 150 million pounds. I mean, to Chelsea, he's worth that, but he needs to prove himself more as a player before he has the right to even demand a move. We're in pole position. We have control with the contract, and that's the most important thing in that respect. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you all watching. Thanks so much for jumping on. I may or may not do a watch along for the England game. I'm working late, so if I work too late, unfortunately, I won't be back. If I can do a watch along, I will do a watch along. I hope I can watch the game. But anyway, we'll catch up soon, guys. All the best, and enjoy the rest of your day.